Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown 205 Live results from this week of Lover's Day, Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2020. But you got birthdays, starting off from February 11th. Former Intercontinental Champion Ken Shamrock turned 56 years old, while former 7-time TNA Tag Team Champion Hernandez turned 47. February 12th, birthdays, One Man Gang. He was born 1960, also known as Akeem, the African Dream. Tommy Dreamer, February 13th. He was born 1971. February 14th, Valentine's Day, Viscera, 1972. February 15th, birthday, Travis Banks, 1987. And rounding out birthdays, February 15th, Rich Swann, 1991. On Monday night, local commercial for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view aired in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania during Raw on the USA Network. Commercial revealed that the winner of the SmackDown Elimination Chamber would go on to challenge the Universal Champion at WrestleMania 36. Commercial listed the following 6 Blue Brand superstars for the SmackDown Chamber match: Roman Reigns, King Corbin, Robert Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, Daniel Bryan, and Intercontinental Champion Braun Strowman. In an update, Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia tweeted the following promo for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view and confirmed that the big match and participants and that the winner will become the number 1 contender to the Universal Champion, currently the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. The Fiend is set to defend the Universal title against Hall of Famer Bill Goldberg at Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia later this month, but it seems unlikely that Goldberg will win. Stay tuned for updates on the 2020 Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, which will take place on March 8th from the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. This will be the final pay-per-view event before the grandest stage of them all on April 5th from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. Well, other news that WWE filed trademark to Christian's name back on Wednesday, February 5th. Looks like the trademark filing was for merchandise, and the following trademark description was filed to the USPTO, United States Patent and Trademark Office. Clothing, namely tops, shirts, jackets, sweatshirts, hoodies, outerwear, namely coats, bottoms, pants, shorts, underwear, dresses, pajamas, lingerie, clothing, ties, scarves, gloves, swimwear, Halloween and masquerade costumes, footwear, namely shoes, sneakers, slippers, flip-flops, boots, headwear, namely hats, caps, wristbands, bandanas. Also, they filed trademark Texas Rattlesnake back on February 5th, which could be one of the nicknames for WWE Hall of Famer Stone Cold. First trademark was for merchandise, as the following use description was filed for the USPTO. Again, the same exact as Christian's. The second Rattlesnake filing could be for general pro wrestling use, as the following use description was filed with USPTO. Entertainment services, namely wrestling exhibitions and performances by a professional wrestler and entertainer rendered live through broadcast media, including television and radio, and via the internet or commercial online service, providing wrestling news and information via global computer network, providing information to the fields of sports and entertainment via an online community portal, providing a website in the field of sports entertainment information, fan club services, namely organizing sporting events in the field of wrestling for wrestling fan club members, organizing special entertainment events for entertainment purposes for wrestling fan club members, providing online newsletters in the fields of sports entertainment, online journals, namely blogs in the fields of sports entertainment. Probably could be hinting to his podcast coming to the WWE Network. Raw Pretoria Center in Ontario, Canada saw NXT superstar Angel Garza return to defeat Cedric Alexander in singles action. Garza was attacked by cousin Humberto Carrillo before the match, but still managed to get the win over Cedric. Zelina Vega accompanied Garza back to Raw this week after bringing him to the show last week to deal with Carrillo and taking out Rey Mysterio. In an update, Garza is still a member of the NXT roster. It's been reported that he still remains on the NXT roster, and His current Red brand work is not a call-up to the main roster. Garza is still being used to keep the Carrillo program going, while WWE U.S. Champion Andrade is serving 30-day suspension for his first violation of the WWE Wellness policy. As Andrade is advertised for the Saudi Arabia event, Garza worked weekend NXT live events in Florida and on the road, picking up wins over Arturo Ruiz, Shane Thorne, and Austin Theory. Vega took to Twitter after all and commented on leading Garza to Red Brand's success. Unlike other women, I don't feed off of a man's success. I create it, she wrote. As noted, Andrade will return from his wellness policy suspension on Thursday, February 27th at Super Showdown. Okay, so February 27th is a Thursday. And he competes in his first ever two-week trophy gauntlet match for the two-week Mountain Trophy. Other match participants will be AJ Styles, Eric Rowan, Rusev, Bobby Lashley, and R-Truth. Regarding Styles, WWE announced earlier this month that the leader of the OC is out of action indefinitely with a shoulder injury. So this could be his return from the injury. The hope has been that AJ will be ready to go for WrestleMania 36 build. But this new match announcement for Super Showdown indicates that they expect him to be ready before the month is over. We noted before that Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson worked the WWE main event match this week against Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. It looks like AJ was not with them. Also, WWE did an injury angle at this week's Raw that saw Randy Orton take out Matt Hardy after Matt confronted Orton over the recent attack on WWE Hall of Famer Edge. It was speculated that WWE did this angle to write Matt Hardy off of TV as his contract reportedly expires Sunday, March 1st. In an update, Matt is done with WWE, and this was a segment to write him off the storylines. According to a new report from Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet and WWE Backstage, Matt tweeted a goodbye message to his fans after Raw and linked them to the latest Free to Delete episode on YouTube, which includes a possible teaser on him being the Exalted One for the Dark Order in AEW. And you can see those by going to his Free to Delete YouTube. There's no word on a possible last-minute deal with WWE and Matt, but it's been reported that creative differences are a major hurdle in the contract negotiations, not pay. WWE has announced that Roman Reigns will be in tag action with a mystery partner during Friday's SmackDown on Fox episode. Also noted, Reigns had a back and forth on Twitter with John Morrison and The Miz, who also took shots at the Usos. Morrison apparently knocked the Usos for not being able to get into Canada for this week's show in Vancouver due to past legal issues. Let's also watch R-Truth can't be there. Go there. Previous arrest, you're not allowed. WWE has confirmed impeding absence from this week's SmackDown by the Usos. They also announced that Reigns will have to find a mystery partner to go up against Miz and Morrison on tomorrow on SmackDown from Rogers Arena in Vancouver. Stay tuned for the results from that later on. WWE originally announced Super Showdown for the King Fahd International Stadium in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Updated listing on the local ticket website and WWE website now have the event has been changed from the Mohammed Abdu Arena at the Boulevard in Riyadh. The Mohammed Abdu Arena at the Boulevard is one of the venues that has been used for recent major events held in the kingdom as they try to attract more worldwide entertainment acts to the country. The venue reportedly holds 22,000 guests, but that's not official. No word yet on why Super Showdown was moved from King Fahd International Stadium, which hosts Crown Jewel 2019. Crown Jewel 2018 was held at the King Saud University Stadium in Riyadh. Super Showdown 2018 was held at King Abdullah International Stadium in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. On a related note, the local ticket website notes that Super Showdown 2020 will run from 7:30 p.m. until 12 midnight local time, which indicates a 4.5 hour show that would include a kickoff, pre-show, or dark matches for the local crowd. Doors open at 5:30 local time, and there will be an opening presentation at 7 p.m. WWE Network feed of the main event of the main show is scheduled to begin at 12 noon or at 9 a.m. Pacific time. 12 Eastern, that's 11 Central, which would be 8 p.m. local time. It looks like there could be a 30-minute kickoff pre-show on the WWE Network, which would begin at 11:30 Eastern time, 10:30 our time on the Central time. Dark match before this week's SmackDown from Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia. Saw Lucha House Party defeat Drew Gulak and Drake Maverick in tag team action. SmackDown results from Fox opens up with a usual video. Live from Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia, Michael Colesaw welcomes us to a sold-out show. Says that there are 14,382 fans. That's rare, but they announced the attendance for regular shows. Colesaw is joined on McCoy Graves. They hyped tonight's show, including the live via satellite appearance by Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan. We go to the stage for special Valentine's Day edition of Moment of Bliss with Alexa Bliss and co-host Nikki Cross. Didn't see the first part of this myself, as I was picking up my daughter and getting back about 20 minutes into the show as the show started. As we can see the show, they're no longer on this network or any satellite, because Fox has taken them off of their shows as they can watch it on free programming. Got an antenna? We got the stage for tonight's special edition, Moment of Bliss. Bliss welcomes us to the first Moment of Bliss 2020. Cross wishes everyone a happy Valentine's Day. Cross wants to talk about celebrity crushes and tells Bliss to go first. Bliss asks if she could say it. Could she say she should reveal hers? Cross interrupts and says, it's Brad Pitt. Bliss hesitates but then agrees. You're right. They go on and Bliss introduces her guest for tonight. Out comes number one contender Carmella. Bliss congratulates Carmella and says, some people say that the victory last week was surprising because we haven't heard a lot from Carmella lately. Carmella loves surprises and will surprise everyone when she takes the title from Bayley later on in the night. They bring up Carmella's former friendship with Bayley and we see photos of them together. Carmella blames the end of their friendship on Sasha Banks. She goes on about how Bayley has changed the world since Banks came back. Bliss brings up her friendship with Cross, but the music interrupts and out comes the SmackDown Women's Champion. Bayley says Carmella is nauseating. Bayley says this isn't about Banks, it's about Carmella. She says they were friends, not best friends, but friends going back to NXT. Bayley goes on and calls Carmella a loser, and she is the most dominant champion we've seen. Bliss interrupts, but Bayley mocks her and brings up their recent matches. Fans continue to boo Bayley. Bayley says nobody can touch her. Carmella gets up and gets in Bayley's face. Carmella says, let's fight right here and now. Fans pop as she drops the mic and heads to the ring. Bayley watches from the stage and seems worried. She hesitates before walking to the ring. Women's title match, Carmella versus Bayley. Bayley switches up and marches into the ring. Carmella tells her to bring it. We go to commercial as Bayley raises the title in the air. Back for the ring, and they go at it. Bayley takes Carmella down and shows her up for some boos. Carmella mounts offense for a 2 count. Carmella takes Bayley down by her arm and now keeps her grounded. Bayley fights up and ties Carmella up in the ropes, working her over until the 5 count. As if they get to the 5 count, it's a disqualification. Fans boo. Bayley keeps fighting and talking trash as the referee warns her. Carmella slaps Bayley out of nowhere, then kicks her twice for a 2 count. Bayley fights back with a kick and then knocks Carmella back down. Bayley wastes some time and covers for two quick pin attempts. Bayley takes Carmella to the corner and unloads with kicks. Bayley with an elbow to the back of the head. Bayley goes up, but Carmella cuts her off. Bayley counters, hits a back suplex. More back and forth between the two. Carmella kicks out of another close pin attempt and hits a Mella go around. Carmelo with more offense until Bailey rolls to the floor to regroup. Carmelo runs the ropes and nails the suicide dive to the floor. Carmelo brings it back in the ring for another crossbody from the top, but Bailey kicks out again. Bailey goes back to the floor, and Carmelo falls. Bailey immediately grabs her and drops her face first into the announce table. Back to commercial. Back to the ring, Bailey looks to mount offense, while Carmelo slides out of a move and drops her on her head. Carmelo puts her back down with a big boot. Carmelo with 2 clotheslines and an atomic drop. Carmelo takes it to the corner and ends up hitting her Corona. Carmelo gets fired up as the fans cheer her on. Carmelo keeps control and Bailey ducks behind the referee and then nails a cheap shot. Carmelo keeps fighting as the fans boo Bailey. Carmelo with 2 running forearms. Carmelo with a 3rd forearm to the head. Carmelo charges, but Bailey catches her and hits Bailey to belly suplex out of nowhere for a 2 count. Bailey misses in the corner. Carmelo tosses her through the ropes. Bailey comes right back in, but she hangs her over the top. Bailey goes to the top, but Carmelo cuts her off. Carmelo climbs up and launches Bailey to the middle of the ring, but she still kicks out at 2. They trade counters again. Bailey rolls her up for a 2 count. Carmelo comes right back and rolls Bailey up for a 2 count. Carmelo with a super kick, but Bailey rolls to the floor as the fans boo her. Carmelo is frustrated. Bar back and forth as they come back in. Carmelo gets a code of silence locked in as the fans go wild. Bailey reaches for the rope, but Carmelo keeps it locked in. Fans continue to cheer her on. Bailey finally breaks it. They tackle some more on the mat. Carmelo goes for the code of silence again, but it's blocked. Bailey ends up using the ropes for leverage and getting the pin to retain. After the match, Bailey's music hits as the Carmelo looks on. Bailey attacks from behind and beats Carmelo down as the boos gets louder. Music hits and out comes Naomi. Naomi gets in Bailey's face and they argue. Carmelo comes back from behind and shoves Bailey, sending them both over. Carmelo goes after Bailey. Naomi and Carmelo both end up dropping Bailey with kicks. Bailey rolls to the floor as Carmelo and Naomi stand tall. Naomi's music hits as she celebrates with Carmelo. We see how King Constantine Corbin humiliated the Roman Reigns fan last week. Coleslaw says Corbin was fined and barred from competing tonight. But let's see this. Still to come, Hogan is there by satellite. Also, Roman Reigns has a mystery partner versus Miz and Jomo in the main event. Back to commercial. Back for the ring, we'll see what just happened. Kayla Braxton stops Bailey backstage and she's upset. She reveals that she will defend her title at WWE Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. She doesn't care who her opponent is because no one can touch her. And we see a WWE Day of trailer for the 2020 Royal Rumble with Lacey Evans speaking. Renee Young will interview Lacey for next Friday's SmackDown. Otis is backstage before his date with Mandy Rose, and he's really nervous. Tucker comes over, and Otis says Mandy is running late. Tucker tries to calm him, but Otis wonders if Mandy could really like him. Handicap match was up next. Sheamus versus Apollo Crews and Shorty G. We're going to ring for a handicap match. Out first comes Sheamus. Back to commercial. Back to the ring. Out first comes Apollo Crews, and Sheamus looks on. Shorty G was also out next. We see what led to this match. G and Crews rush the ring. Both attack Sheamus. Referee tries to get them off, and finally does. Sheamus comes off the corner as the bell rings, sending G back into it. Sheamus unloads, but G drops him. Shorty with a cannonball kick to the face. Crews tags in as G hits a third. Crews drop kicks Sheamus back into the corner. Crews works on Sheamus' arm and tags in G for a double team. Sheamus runs over G and gets a pop. Sheamus goes to work on G now, dropping him with his uppercut. Vince unloads on the ropes with the forearm to the chest. Sheamus drops G and stares back at Crews. G fights back with strikes, and Sheamus turns around. G counters the roll. Sheamus up for a 2 count. Sheamus blocks an ankle lock. Crews tags in with an elbow and a forearm shot. More back and forth as G and Crews tag in again. Double team Sheamus again out to the floor. Crews with a moonsault from the apron to the floor. Taking Sheamus down to the floor. Crews makes it back in, and G hits a missile drop kick. Crews tags it back in with a shooting star press, but Sheamus kicks out of 2. Sheamus comes back with a brogue kick to G out of nowhere. As Crews moved out of the way of it, Sheamus gets rolled up but kicks out at 2. Sheamus lost his Cruz shoulder first into the corner and the ring post. Fans chant for the brogue kick as Cruz recovers. Sheamus delivers it and covers Cruz for the pin and the win. After the match, Sheamus stands tall as his music hits as the fans cheer him on. Sheamus then poses in the corner for the fans. Kayla stops Carmella backstage and asks about what Bayley did. Carmella says she doesn't ask for handouts, but she deserves a rematch after what happened tonight. Carmella tells WWE and Fox officials to name a time and a place because she will be there and she will be the next SmackDown Women's Champion. We see Mandy Rose at a restaurant. A host seats her at a table. We see Hulk Hogan at his beat shop getting set up for an interview. Back to commercial. Back for the break, and the announcer will go over Super Showdown. We'll get a video package to hype Hall of Famer Bill Goldberg for his match with the Universal Champion, The Fiend Bray Wyatt. Cole, and Graves are joined live by satellite with Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan at his beat shop in Tampa. Cole asks about Hogan and the NWO going into the 2020 Hall of Fame class. Hogan talks up the NWO and says it's for life. Cole asks Hogan if Goldberg has a shot at the Fiend. Hogan talks about feeling the power of Goldberg in the ring and says the Fiend better be careful. The screen is flickered a few times and looks like that was the Fiend. Hogan is interrupted by the NWO Light video paid for by the FFH. Firefly Funhouse. We see Wyatt walking across the screen, NWO style like Hogan used to do. NWO style. When he had the WCW World Heavyweight title. This goes into a regular Firefly Funhouse segment now. Huskus the Pig, boy, is there, and Wyatt does the comedy. The screen splits and Hogan appears. Hogan says Wyatt is a funny guy with jokes, but it won't be funny when he gets in the ring with Goldberg. Wyatt gets serious and warns Hogan that he doesn't need jokes. He has a Fiend. Hogan tells Wyatt to be careful because there could be room for him on the wall. Wyatt shows us a photo of Hogan with his eyes crossed out like the other victims. Hogan tells Wyatt he will see him at the Hall of Fame in April. Hogan walks off, takes his microphone out, and what have you. Wyatt says the same, and then waves goodbye to Goldberg in the segment. Still to come, Roman Reigns teams with a mystery partner, probably your main event. We see Otis heading out for his date with Mandy Rose. Back to commercial. Back for the break, we get a This Week in WWE history video from the WWE Network looking at The Rock and Anonymous GM on February 14th, Valentine's edition of 2011 Raw. Cole looks at Rock's daughter, Simone Johnson, who recently signed with WWE. They also plugged Jumanji. Cesaro and Sami Zayn are in the ring, and now, as Greg Hamilton does ring introductions, Sami talks about how they've been victim of injustice for weeks. At the hands of Elias, they have a protest song for tonight. Fans aren't buying it. Elias interrupts and they begin to play, and out he comes. The screen is still flickering at random times. Fans cheer for Elias as he comes out. Elias does his thing and asks who wants to walk with him. Sami isn't happy that Elias is interrupting their protest concert. Elias says he's staging a counter protest. Sami says any other night he would have his security toss Elias out. But it's cool of Elias if Elias has something on his chest tonight. Sami orders his ringside security to let Elias into the ring. Sami wants Elias close so he can hear this song because a lot of it has to do with Elias. Sami and Cesaro start their sad attempt at music, but fans interrupt with a chant for Elias. Sami tells Cesaro to do less cowbell, and he tries to play the ukulele. Elias watches from the corner as he's just amused. Fan chant for Elias some more. Finally, falls apart as Sami tries to get local heat. They double team Elias until the music interrupts, and out comes WWE Intercontinental Champion Braun Strowman to a big pop. Strowman heads down to the ring and takes security out first. Strowman hits the ring and ends up chasing Sami around backing him up the ramp. Security comes from behind, hits Strowman. Strowman chases him back into the ring where Elias is. Both launch the security guard out of the ring onto the other guards. Sammy watches and laughs, saying that could have hurt. Strowman and Elias stand tall in the ring as we go to replay. Kayla talks to Naomi backstage for comments. She goes on about how she's tired of Bayley. Naomi says the glow is real and she will be the next SmackDown Women's Champion. We see Mandy Rose back in the restaurant, still alone and waiting. Back to commercial. Back for the break, and we get hype for John Cena's upcoming return and the Ruthless Aggression docu-series on the WWE Network. Carmella vs. Naomi is set for next Friday, with the winner going on to Super Showdown to challenge Bayley for her title. Goldberg will also be there next Friday. And now to show us a video package with events leading up to tonight date between Mandy Rose and Otis. We go back to the restaurant where Mandy has been. Otis walks in and asks the host if he's seen a peach. Otis is pointed to where Rose is. He's nervous, but finally walks over after hesitating. We go back to Mandy, but she looks up and Dolph Ziggler is standing there. Instead, all smiles. We cut to Otis coming around the corner. He sees Ziggler standing there. Otis gets disappointed and drops his flowers. Otis walks off, as sad as he could be. Back for the break, Cole Saul talks about WrestleMania 37 going to Hollywood. The Miz and John Morrison versus Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. The mystery appointment. We go to the ring for tonight's main event. And out first comes the Miz and Morrison. Miz and Morrison take the mic and start knocking the Usos, mentioning how they aren't here tonight. Miz says they've been back for 1 month and already have cousin Roman Reigns fighting their battles. Miz talks about how he's always here. Fans boo and Morrison tells them not to. Miz praises Morrison some and they talk some trash about SmackDown Tag Team Champions The New Day ahead of their match at Super Showdown. Music erupts and out comes Reigns first for his team. Reigns stops on the stage and gets fireworks. Cole Saul leads us to a video on Reigns versus King Corbin feud presented by Progressive Insurance. Reigns faces off with Miz and Morrison as he waits for his mystery partner. Music finally hits and out comes Daniel Bryan as the Yes Orgasm chant starts up for the crowd. Bryan wraps up his entrance as we see King Corbin walking down the steps in the crowd, holding up the ticket just like in the video game. Fans boo Corbin heavily as he walks to a seat. Reigns can't believe it. Reigns stares Corbin down as we go to commercial. Back for the break. Reigns goes at it with Morrison, dropping him first. Morrison goes out and comes back in with kicks. Corbin watches from the front row. Reigns and Morrison tangle, but Reigns sends him down. Reigns rocks Morrison into the corner and hits him with a shoulder thrust. Reigns keeps control and tags in Bryan. Bryan works on Morrison and then knocks Miz off the apron. Bryan unloads on Morrison in the corner. Bryan ducks Morrison and nails a suicide dive out, putting Miz into the barrier. Bryan brings it back in and hits a missile dropkick to Morrison. Fans pop and keep cheering after Bryan's kick up. Bryan unloads with yes kicks and lays Morrison out for a 2 count as Reigns faces the crowd from the apron. Bryan keeps control and hits a big hurricanrana to Morrison from the top. Morrison ends up making a comeback, sending Bryan out to the floor. Miz comes in and rams Bryan into the barrier. Reigns comes over as Miz backs off. Reigns is close to Corbin. Corbin distracts Reigns, allowing Miz to drop him at ringside. Morrison runs the ropes and leaps out, taking Reigns and Bryan back down on the outside. Miz and Corbin taunt Reigns as we go back to commercial. Back from the break, Bryan gets double teamed in the corner. Morrison keeps Bryan grounded. Morrison goes on and hits big boot to the head. Miz comes back in for some more double teaming. Bryan sends Morrison over the top rope to the floor. Miz sends Bryan to the apron. Bryan goes up top, but Miz crotches him. Miz climbs up for a superplex, but it's blocked. Miz gets turned upside down as Bryan calls for a tag. Morrison tags himself in and knocks Reigns off the apron. Morrison goes back to work on Bryan. Now Morrison drives Bryan into the mat and hits a Shining Wizard for a 2 count. Morrison keeps control and goes to the top, but misses a big move. Reigns and Miz tag in at the same time. Reigns unloads and then drops Morrison. Reigns with a big closeout to Miz in the corner. as the fans count along. Reigns levels Miz with a big boot to the face. Reigns ready for a Superman punch, but it's blocked. Reigns blocks the skull crusher finale. Morrison tags in and they tangle, but he drops Reigns with a big kick to the face. Morrison with a 2 count. Morrison with another kick to the back and a 2 count. Reigns blocks Starship Pain and tries to power up for a power bomb. Morrison fights and they tangle some more. Reigns ends up leveling Morrison with a big Superman punch. Reigns goes over for a spear, but Morrison kicks him in the head. Miz tags in and hits a skull crusher finale on Reigns, but Bryan makes a save just in time. Bryan sends Morrison out in front of the announce table. Bryan runs the ropes to dive out onto Morrison, but Miz stops him when he kicks in the head. Miz is alone in the ring with Reigns now. Miz mocks the yes chance as he waits for Reigns to get up. Reigns meets him with a Superman punch and spin chair. Reigns follows up with a spear to pin Miz for the win. Winners of the match, Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. After the match, Corbin rushes the ring and drops Reigns with a scepter shot to the back of the neck. Corbin works Reigns over before retreating on his caravan as his music plays. SmackDown on Fox goes off the air as Reigns recovers while Corbin stands tall on his caravan. 205 Live results. Commentators are John Quasha and Aiden English, running up to a brand new episode of 205 Live. First match of the night is announced. Danny Burch and O'Neill Lorcan versus the Singh Brothers. Before the match even starts, Singh Brothers take a moment to say hello to their hometown fans. Samir Singh says that Wayne Gretzky called them and told them to have fun with their match and to get the heck out of Canada. Samir rips his Vancouver Canucks jersey and reveals an LA Kings jersey that he has on underneath. Sunil takes his Canucks jersey off too and reveals that he's also wearing a Toronto Maple Leaf jersey. The fans boo loudly in unison. WWE says the Singh Brothers with the old hockey jersey switcheroo. Lorcan and Burch music starts off. Music hits as they make their way down to the ring. Singh Brothers leave the ring and attack them before the bell rings. As the bell rings, the Singh Brothers take the lead by dictating the pace. Samir keeps Lorcan on the ground with a submission takedown. Lorcan reverses out of it and turns it into a pin. Samir kicks out at 2. Lorcan crawls over and tags in Burch. Burch and Samir brawl. Burch lands a European uppercut on Samir. Sunil comes in and both brothers land a double super kick. Then Bollywood blast on Burch. There's a cover and Lorcan comes in to break it up in time. Burch climbs to the middle rope and lands a missile drop kick on Samir. With double teamwork from Burch and Lorcan, they land and implant DDT on Samir. Cover. Burch and Lorcan pick up the win over the hometown heroes. After the match, Ari DeVary and the Brian Kendrick make their way down to the ring to take out Lorcan and Burch. They bring in some chairs. Singh Brothers make their way out of the ring. The WWE says at Mr. Brian Kendrick and at Area DeVary, WWE just talked at _Star Destroyer and Strong Salvrit a very painful lesson on hashtag 205 Live. It's announced that on next week's show, Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza will have a rematch. After we see an interview that Rhea Rush had after his match on the NXT this past Wednesday, he's ready to face Jordan Devlin for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship on Wednesday. Back to the ring, Kendrick and DeVary had the microphone and are talking smack towards the Vancouver audience. They believe that they are 205 Live OGs. They're waiting for their opponents. The match is about to start. Ed DeVary and Brian Kendrick versus Tony Nese and Mike Kanellis. New tag team. Kanellis sends Kendrick to the outside. DeVary and Nese are the two legal men in the ring. Nese lands a few punches before tripping DeVary up. Covers. DeVary kicks out at 1. Nese flies off the second rope. Goes for a moonsault. And Kendrick moves DeVary out of the way in time. Kanellis is tagged in, and Kendrick as well. Kanellis tosses Kendrick all around the ring. Kendrick fights back with a power slam. Covers. Kanellis kicks out. DeVary tagged in. He is stomping away on Kanellis. After DeVary puts Kanellis in front of a face lock, Kanellis gets up and reverses out of the hole. Both men collide with a double clothesline. Nice lands a moonsault on DeVere. After being tagged in, Nice with a quarter. With a cover, DeVere kicks out at 2. Canellis and Nice with a combination knee strike power slam combo. Kendrick runs in and locks in the captain's hook on Canellis. Nice climbs back in the ring and crashes into Kendrick. Nice climbs to the top rope. Lands a 450 splash on DeVere. Covers. Kendrick breaks up the count. Comes back in the ring. Lands a super kick. Kendrick with a slide spread number 2 off the top rope. DeVere climbs to the top with a frog splash. He covers Nice. Nice kicks out. Both Kendrick and DeVere grab chairs from underneath the ring. Lorcan and Birch head out of the ring. Nice rolls up DeVere, who is distracted. Nice and Canellis pick up the win. After the match, Birch and Lorcan retaliate against Kendrick and DeVere by attacking both men with chairs. This week's episode, 205 Live, Tony Nice and Mike Canellis, who are going as team name, Team Absolute, officially debuted as a tag team group. They face off against Brian Kendrick and Eric DeVere on the main event. Last month, it was reported that Canellis and Nice were teaming together during NXT Live events. In one of their live matches in Citrus Springs, Florida, they defeated Shane Thorne and Daniel DeVito. At the time, management was not sure when Nice and Canellis were going to make their TV debut as a group. It wasn't until 2 weeks ago that WWE decided to move forward with these two superstars. They won their first televised match on the show after Nice pinned DeVere. Dark main event after this week's 205 Live. Tapings at the Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia saw Universal Champion The Fiend Bray Wyatt retain his title over King Corbin. The Fiend squashed Corbin in under a 5-minute match, putting him away with Sister Abigail and in the Mandible Claw. And that concludes my results for 205 Live and SmackDown. Thanks again. Peace out. See you all over here. If you all know, just call me, brothers and sisters.